Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Core Concepts. If you like some of the content you hear here today, please subscribe below or up there or over there, wherever the button is. Please subscribe. Here we go. Today we're going to talk about
setting goals.
Setting goals. We're getting there.
Okay. So I think the first thing that we should talk about is why are goals important to set, right?
Yeah. So as we talked earlier, as Dustin and I are briefing, we said well, what is the goal? So if for me, let's just say I'm going to go to Minneapolis, and that's my goal or my accomplishment. But how am I going to get there? Dustin might get there a different way than I do. What path do I do? Am I going down the straight line path? I'm going to get there quick. Am I going around it and it's going to take me 2 years to get there? But knowing that's my end goal, right? So,
well, yeah, without knowing where you're trying to go, you're not going to get there, right?
Yep.
You're not going to hit that target. You're not going to see. So super important to know where you're trying to go. And I told you, Marcus, I was listening to a podcast by, I think it was called Mindset Mentor.
Okay.
And they really did a great job of going over some of these things. He said a lot of these things are in that book, Think and Grow Rich, which on my list to read, haven't got to that one. I got a goal of reading that book though. And now I need to take some steps to get there. Right. So I think though the importance of setting a goal is it's going to help you have that vision for where you're trying to go, and a map of how you're going to get there, and give you even a little bit of short-term motivation, right?
Yeah, I think we do that every day, and I think that the key though to setting the goal, Dustin, is the goal is our end result. But like you said, how do we get there, and what disciplines are we putting in place to make sure that we achieve those goals?
Well, right. I think if you're setting a goal, obviously that's an object that you haven't achieved yet, right? It's something that is difficult, whether that's losing weight, whether that's earning a certain amount of money or accomplishing a certain thing, right? Like you haven't been able to do that yet, and that's why it's your goal. So the first thing you are doing is you're challenging yourself, and you're going to get the, I guess, limiting beliefs that you have of yourself, and you're going to have to address those, right? So setting that goal starts to bring that stuff to the surface so you can move past it. The other thing that I think is going to be important, going into setting a goal is also setting rewards along the way, right? Like we don't just eat at Thanksgiving. We need some meals along the way, right? So same thing when you're doing something difficult, trying to reach a goal, you need to also give yourself some rewards along the way, right?
Yeah, like I'm training for a marathon. I'm not going to go out tomorrow and run the marathon, right? I'm going to go 1 mile, then I might run 4 days a week, and I'm going to run 2 miles each time, and then I'm going to run 5 days a week, and I'm going to run 2.5 miles until I build up. But maybe having those milestones along the way that give myself a little reward for what I'm trying to do.
Right. Yeah. Matter of fact, in that podcast I was listening to, they outlined 6 steps, and a lot. You're a really good person to talk to this about, Marcus, because you do this in our company every day and on an annual basis, But the 6 steps, so the first one was get clear on what the goal is, right? And I know when we started our company, we did a 5-year goal and we did a 10-year goal.
Right.
And knowing where we were trying to do, what we're trying to accomplish, gave us you got to get crystal clear on that, right?
Agreed. And you have to have the burn to do it, right? Like you got to drive, you got to have the desire, the passion, not, yeah, I want to do that. Yeah, that's cool.
Well, right. You've got to not just decide what the goal is, you have to, okay, I'm going to use an example. Sometimes you have a goal and you're like, I don't want to tell anybody till I like accomplish it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because you're like, I don't want to fail, and then somebody's going to find out, right? Like, I'm going to look like a slacker because I didn't do it, right? You're better off to actually share your goals with somebody, because now you're setting up like some accountability, right? So I think that like getting clear on what your goal is, getting crystal clear on what it is, not
laser focused.
Like if you're wanting to lose weight, right? You can't say I want to lose weight. This, right? Like, cool, you lost half a pound over the course of a year.
That's losing weight
because you didn't drink a glass of water that morning.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
like
right.
You lost weight. Cool,
Yeah.
way to go, man.
Yeah, right.
But if you say, hey, I want to lose 20 pounds this year, now you have something, right? It's definitive, it's crystal clear, and you get to write down, hey, here's my weight today. I need to be at this weight by this date. And now you can start doing backwards math and say, okay, there's 365 days in a year. How much weight do I need to lose, on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, right? And now you get to track your progress. Now, to do that, you're going to have to start doing some things you didn't used to do, and you're going to have to start not doing something. You got to give something up, right?
Right.
Like maybe you got to give up some meals or some snacks, and maybe you have to give up sleeping in order to get up to exercise.
Right.
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 So now you've got this goal, you've defined it. Now you got to decide, what are the things that I either need to do or that I need to not do to reach my goal, right?
Disciplines are like so crucial in setting a goal. It's to your point on the weight loss. Let's use that one for example. I've got to set my discipline, but not only do I have to set my discipline, I have to put it down on a calendar when this is going to happen. If I'm going to do this.
Well, you in our company, you have what you call the success tracker.
Right.
Right. And this is very much the same in weight loss. You're setting dates, you're setting goals, right? And deadlines.
Right.
And now you're tracking it. So you're able to, guess what? We're all going to get off track, right? Maybe the road to our goal isn't like from a point A to point B is the quickest route, right? But we're going to go like this a little bit.
Yep.
We're going to get outside the
Zigzag
lines.
a little bit over the
and
line.
we're going to be, hey, but you got to recognize when you're off course.
Of course.
And if you don't have, something in place to recognize when you're off course, you're going to continue to go off course and not make the correction in time to reach your goal. So you have to set something up in order to recognize when you're off course and take that corrective action, right?
Yep.
So, for example, let's stick on to the weight loss thing. If you're going to lose, I'm going to say 12 pounds in a year, because that's really simple math here. You've got to lose at least 1 pound every month, right? So now you get to weigh yourself at the end of every month and say, did I hit my goal? Or, wow, I'm off course. I need to take some corrective action here. This something I did isn't working. Maybe I didn't follow my routine. When you're setting goals, you're creating new habits. You have to create those new habits. And that's what we're talking about when we say doing things you didn't do before and not doing some of the things you used to do. You're creating new habits.
I mean, I don't know why the weight loss thing is such like a good topic, but
Analogy.
Yeah, analogy for it. Sorry. Topic is goals. But when you set your discipline and then you set your time, here's the thing I think that where a lot of people start to maybe drift off course, as you say, is we think that that's like something we can move, right? If I'm supposed to work out at noon, this is a hard stop. I have a noon appointment. I'm not going to answer the phone at noon because I'm working out. I'm doing my discipline right now to set up what my goal is going to be, right? And if you
Yeah,
don't
to
set,
accomplish it, right?
Yeah, and if
Absolutely.
you don't do that, how laser focused are you on your goal? You know, and then we do it every single day on the sales side. What is today's goal? What did you sow today that's going to let you harvest your goal later?
Yeah, and that's a good point you bring up there about, you know, creating that I'm going to work out at lunch every day at 12 o'clock or whatever it is, right? And I've heard this a few times recently. Alyssa shared this with us actually. When you're planning on doing something, if you're going to, you know, leave it for in the moment, it's not going to happen. You have to plan ahead because I'm a list guy, right? I like to have a list in front of me and go, okay, I'm going to knock this out.
Yep.
Whatever it is.
Yep.
Right? If I don't have the list, then I'm like, what should I be doing? And I have to now think about what I need to do, right? So isn't it, it is for humans, it's way more conducive to sit down, create that plan of action. What am I going to do? This is what I'm going to eat. This is what I'm going to, like, how much exercise I'm going to do, and for this long, and then you just execute, right?
Yep.
Focus on creating the plan, writing it down, having it in front of you, reminding yourself of it, creating the habit, and then all you have to do is execute.
Yep.
You no longer have, you know, for example, when I've wanted to say I'm going to eat better, I've never been successful at it. You know why?
Because it wasn't planned.
Exactly. You got to have the meal prep done, or say, hey, this is what I'm going to eat for lunch. This is what I'm going to eat for dinner, right? If you don't do that, lunchtime comes and you're like, okay, I got to think about what I can eat. And with my amount of knowledge on what's healthy and what's not or whatever, I'm like, well, I don't know. Is that high in fat or not? Or is that healthy? Is it bad? What kind of fat's bad? Is it this kind or that kind?
Yep.
I don't know, right? Like, if I had to go plan that in the moment, it's going to take me like research to go figure out what I'm supposed to be eating.
Well, it's mind numbing.
Right?
It's mind numbing, right? I don't want. Let's just move on, right?
Yeah. I mean, we're just better off to do the planning, and then all we have to do is execute, right? So, and then reviewing that progress every day, super important. So you know when you get off track, it is another thing that I think is super important in a goal. And this doesn't just count for any type of goal. You know, I mean, this can be business, personal, it could be relationship based, whatever it is. But having an accountability system, having a way to create new habits, make sure it's planned, do it all on the front end, and then just execute.
And all those crucial steps that you're bringing up, what a like self-rewarding accomplishment. When you do these things, you know how good you feel about yourself. You set a goal and you start going down the path, and you feel healthier, you feel like you got a flatter stomach, you're making the sales goals, you're doing great in your closing percentages, your pipeline's full, whatever it may be. You know how good you feel about who you are, and then it just continues to pile on top of each other because you're just killing it. You just keep on going, and you just keep on going, and here sits this guy with no goal over here, and he's like, what's that guy doing?
Well, it goes back to the first step's the hardest step, right? Like, and everybody's heard this analogy or been in this situation yourself. Like, if you're going to say, hey, I'm going to start going to the gym, what's the hardest part about that?
Getting there.
Even getting, once you're in your car, how many people have turned around and been like, yeah, I'm not going to do it, right? Like, it doesn't happen. Once you've committed to going there and got that far, everything becomes easier after the first step. So view that like first step as like just that. It's the first step, and every step after that becomes easier. When you get to the gym and you actually start exercising, half the time you're like, God, why don't I do this more often? I actually feel pretty good. Like
100%.
I'm feeling strong
or
whatever, right? Like and as you start to go to the gym, after a month or whatever, and you've created that habit, it not only becomes not hard, but you start to like it. As you start to get good at something, there's that reward you're talking about, right? So, as a like a recap, I think, set the goal, make, the plan of how you're going to accomplish that.
Follow the discipline.
Establish the dates and the deadlines.
Yep.
Track your progress, and review that progress. And of course, tell others what your goal is. Put some accountability in place. Put some rewards in place.
Key to what you said there. Somebody that is going to hold you accountable, though. It's got to be somebody that's close enough to be able to tell you you're slipping.
Well, that's absolutely nice. I mean, I don't know that everybody has that person in their life or not, but everybody, I think, has somebody that they don't want to like appear to be a failure to, or let down or whatever, right? Because let's face it, dude, most of your friends are going to be like, dude, good try, but that's super hard. Like, sometimes your friends aren't really the best people that are going to hold you accountable because they're like on your team, right? And even though that they might be damaging you by not giving you the hard truth, maybe that's when you say, hey, if I'm really going to commit to this thing, is my friend going to be my best support, or should I, go to the next level and find a coach?
Yeah.
Right.
I like that.
So yeah, I think that wraps up today's episode of Core Concepts. I hope you guys got some value from it. If you've gotten any value at all from us, we'd appreciate a subscription or share it on your Instagram page. Hopefully someone else can find some value from what we're sharing. And thanks for coming.
Thanks, Dustin. Bye.